in the NFL, he makes that much of a difference. They let Micah Parsons go, and they brought in Quentin Williams, and they found another guy that can impact the rest of the guys on the defensive line, similarly to what Micah Parsons was able to do.
I think it's a special season. I really do. And I think what they went through over that bye week with the loss of Nealand and how they've galvanized is real.
Yeah.
I also think we're getting contributions and plays that maybe we weren't getting in recent weeks and recent seasons. Last week, you were sitting in that chair, Swagu. You said the play of the day for them was this season-saving play by Elijah Clark. Clark gets banged around 3 times, 4 times, doesn't stop. And who causes the fumble? Elijah Clark. Sure enough, they're in a 1-score game here. George Pickens fumbles the ball on Thanksgiving. Kavontae Turpin is Johnny on the spot and maybe saves the season by recovering the fumble. I texted a Cowboys source after this game. I said, CD, Dak, amazing. Their response was, the Turpin play. Make sure you highlight the Turpin play. It's those little things that are different, and they're happening on a week-to-week basis. Hey, guess what? Thursday, they play the Lions. I would expect more of that.
Yeah, what a coaching job by Brian Schottenheimer.
That's the key.
It just probably doesn't even, as much as we've said it, I don't know.
How about that? After Thanksgiving, the Bears are the one.
I just want people to pay attention to who in the hunt.
Okay, we see that. You're talking about those Cowboys there right in the middle.
Keep an eye out.
Look at the right side of your screen, people. That's what Swagu wants you to see. 6-5-1. But anyway, this is the first time 3 teams were tied for a share of the best record in the conference entering December in the NFC since 2014. All right, RC, what do you see there?
Well, the big
RC's
thing,
still over there.
They keep sitting me over here. And by the way, these seats are cold as a mofo.
Your mic not on.
My mic's not on.
There it is.
There it is. It's on.
Hey, that's punishment for being over in timeout.
Hey, I already know. Dan, listen, the Chicago Bears are one of those teams where people are thinking to themselves, are they really good? And they just continue to win. What's impressed you about the way they were able to go to Philly and walk out of there with the dub?
I have not seen anybody push Philly around the way that the Bears did. I think the Bears are staking claim to the best run game in football. I think, 1, with the motion and personnel, they waste defenders. And then 2, they're moving defensive linemen. So here goes the tight end in motion. DJ Moore is at the fullback position. Watch the bottom 3 players at the bottom of the screen. And also Jalen Carter. Jalen Carter gets moved 5 yards off the original line of scrimmage. And that motion leaves those 3 people. So you're not blocking 3 while also completely displacing one of the best defensive tackles in all of football. This time the tight end's at the fullback. Here comes the receiver in motion. Once again, we're going to waste people for the defense. Because DJ Moore is slicing backside and the tight end, 3 defenders are pulled. A defensive tackle is getting blocked into Quinyon Mitchell, who's covering the receiver in man-to-man, and you're just completely losing people from a defensive perspective. Tight end's going to come in motion. They're going to toss this ball to the tailback, but it's inside zone. So the defense, 5 guys are running outside to the perimeter thinking because of the toss, while you're chopping that backside defensive tackle, and there's another gigantic seam for DeAndre Swift to run through. I think all that stuff to look at with the motion, different personnel, and then the seams that are getting created while you're getting that vertical push, it's going to be brutal for teams in the back end of the stretch, and I think they're going to get into the playoffs.
I think the beginning part of that is what Monangai and DeAndre Swift have become, similar to Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery.
Sure.
And also, we credited Dan Campbell so much with the physicality and the culture of the offense in Detroit. But I feel like we see that from Ben Johnson now because he makes that come alive schematically. For me, they're like Allen Iverson, right? They're the answer. And you try to figure out, okay, how do you have this close game against the Minnesota Vikings? You find a way to get the huge kickoff return. Then we see Caleb Williams finish against the Giants. Well, when Jalen Hunt got this interception, I was like, okay, there's the play.
Yeah.
Right now, the Philadelphia Eagles will find a way. You have a Nation Wright forced fumble on the tush push, and then you have a big run by Monangai to get them from within their own goal line. And they continue to move the ball until you have a 4th and 5. And now you have a decision to make. And you go to Colston Loveland, right, your rookie tight end who started this season off slow, starting to come around and be a playmaker. And Monangai finishes with physicality in the red zone. To me, this team always has the appropriate response to adversity, which is very difficult for a young football team. And Ben Johnson is creating that sort of culture.
I thought it was so impressive. They went into the defending Super Bowl champion's house. Quarterback played like a C game, and the game wasn't even close. I think that schematically, they stress you so much, and then physically, they stress you so much they're a handful when it comes to defending the run.
I want to say this about the quarterback, right? Because there was much of this game, he was below 50%.
Sure.
But when they needed plays from him with his legs and with his arms, he found ways to make those in critical football moments. And those are the things that Caleb Williams has to do to make sure this team can continue winning.
Sports Center, where there's the audible Fire Tomlin chant from the crowd. And you heard Damian Woody and you heard Herm Edwards talk about it. Maybe it is time after 19 years to go a different direction as we welcome in our senior NFL insider, Adam Schefter. So, Adam, what are you hearing about Tomlin and his future with the Steelers?
Well, Matt, nobody around the league thinks that the Pittsburgh Steelers will fire Mike Tomlin. If there were some sort of separation, it would be because Mike Tomlin wanted to leave, and there's been no indication that he's wanted to do that in recent seasons. Maybe something about this season changes that dynamic, but again, he's been a fixture there. This is his 19th season. They've yet to have a losing season, and yes, they also have not won a playoff game since 2016, so each side has its arguments. But Mike Tomlin, if they were to part ways, would instantly become the #1 head coaching candidate available. He could get any head coaching job he wanted. He could get any broadcasting job he wanted. He would be desirable wherever he went, and that's if he wanted to walk away, which he's given no indication of doing. The Pittsburgh Steelers don't fire head coaches. They don't seem like they'd be in the market to fire Mike Tomlin now. But there is a lot of noise out of Pittsburgh. The fans there are uneasy and unhappy, and you heard the fire Tomlin chants from the stands yesterday.
Yeah, or maybe he just wants to take a year off if this were to happen. 19 years in the Pittsburgh grind, leading an NFL team, that's a lot. So we'll see what they end up doing as they're still in contention in their division. I do want to pivot to some injuries from yesterday. I want to take us through the latest. Let's start with Chargers quarterback Justin Herbert.
He's scheduled to have surgery on his left hand today. Broke a bone in that left hand during the game against the Raiders. Return wearing what looked like an oven mitt on his left hand. Finished the game. Helped lead the Chargers to a victory. But he's going to have surgery today. Now, he insists that he's going to try to play next Monday night against the Philadelphia Eagles. We'll see how the week of practice goes for Justin Herbert after hand surgery today. Meanwhile, Sauce Gardner suffered what the Colts say is a calf injury. The concern was that it was an Achilles injury when he went down, but the test confirmed that it is not his Achilles. It's a calf. And the Colts do acknowledge that Sauce Gardner will miss some time right now. They don't know exactly how much, but they do expect him back before the end of the regular season, and that's encouraging news for the Colts team that's dealing with an injury to its key defensive player.
And I understand there's updated news on J.J. McCarthy, Vikings quarterback status. What do you have there, Shefty?
He's still in concussion protocol right now, Matt, but the feeling is he should clear through that this week, and they do believe that he will be the starting quarterback on Sunday against the Washington Commanders, who have their own quarterback questions, waiting to see whether or not Jaden Daniels can make it back from his dislocated elbow. If not, Marcus Mariota. We saw him play exceptionally well last night. Mariota would be the starter on Sunday against what figures to be Vikings quarterback J.J. McCarthy.
All right, busy time of year, especially with all these quarterbacks banged up as we enter the